Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday. Today we're looking at Sobrevivencia, a strategy that will allow you to win every fight before it even develops, before it even breaks out. Before we do that, a warm welcome to those of you who are here, especially if you're here for the first time. Listen, you want to avail yourself. You have 2 free resources. Take advantage of it. You have the no-cost Cane Clarity Call. You do that by texting the letters CCC. You see the number below, and in less than 24 hours, we'll be on a phone conversation with you, learning what it is that attracts you about the cane. What's your starting point? Where are you right now? Why are you even watching this? And we'll bring some clarity to that and learn how we can serve you best. You'll walk out with an actual blueprint, and also you have a Facebook group. It's free. It's the only ACSD group that is open to the public. It's called Cane Flow. That's what you're looking for. Look at the description below. There's a link, request entry, that will let you right in. I want to start it off by sharing an actual incident from a caner who shared with us, and I appreciate it. If you go to the Facebook page, the public page, you'll see it there. If you're in Cane Flow, look at the details there. He shared an email open to all, and he discussed it during our session. This was the session that we did recently with Sobrevivencia founder, Maestro Eduardo Ruiz. And it was towards the end of the session, but essentially he was assaulted, and there's some verbal interaction going on, and then there was contact made, and so on and so forth. So I want to bring some clarity to that, and I want to give you some insights as to, straight from Maestro Ruiz, how it is that you would go about something like that. And it had to do with a parking incident and getting down. And in essence, what happened in this case is, well, the first thing that happened was this very irate individual is confronting, whoa, and you see how close she's getting over here, and then says a lot of accusatory things, and then suddenly there's the hand boom, really upset. And our caner is trained to go from here to here, except he noticed that he didn't have his cane in hand. He had left it in the vehicle because it was just going to be a couple of minutes. So one of the revelations he had is never be without your cane. That's good advice, but listen, we're human. What happens if you don't have the tool? What happens if you don't have the firearm? What happens if who you are, you hear me say it over and over, in a self-protection situation is dictated by you have to have that tool, then you need to revisit your training, because the number one tool that you have is this up here. Let me explain, and this is 1000% SV. The first situation is that you're paralyzed by that fear and shock of the moment. You're closing the gap in here to the point where, even though you're not saying anything, because if I start arguing, you see how this is going to de-escalate, right? If I let the testosterone take over and listen, and it's so close up that he's able to go ahead and put his palm, but at such a close distance, the first issue is I can't take full inventory of what's going on. Assailants will take advantage of the fact that if you're not trained in these matters, when he starts getting louder and he starts getting in your face, your brain just doesn't, you shut down. The adrenaline response it interferes with your ability to make quick decisions. It also interferes with your physical coordination. The issue here is, this was a palm heel shot, right? A push, basically, upset, and that was the end of it. It didn't escalate. Our caner survived that, because he never escalated, he didn't retaliate. However, what if this would have been a knife? I don't see it. See, she already drew it. Oh, right? It could have gone that way. So from this distance, I cannot see. So let me show you. I'm going to go with, well, let me hang on to the cane, because you do this without the cane, and however it is. In Sobrevivencia, you win when you get out of that situation. You survive with your life, doing the least amount of damage, right, all around. And so Maestro Ruiz always talks about the 3 steps, taking those 3 steps to where, when I see that this starts escalating, because it started verbally, right, it's 1, 2, and 3, and now there's a distance here. The first reason why you're doing that is because in order to continue to engage me, he's going to have to follow. Now, everybody has a phone these days and can, right, there's an altercation going, they start filming this. Or if you have witnesses, the concern is not what you're going to do here and how you're going to take care of them. That's one thing. But the legal ramifications. This now, if you're following me and I say I don't want any trouble and you came over here, it's clear that you're the one who's coming to assault. But here's the deal, as he often mentions. If I take 3 steps, and by the way, he always, SV talks about always looking for leverage around your environment. Is there a chair in between? Is there a vehicle? Is there somewhere where I can get that buys me the time now to take my full inventory? One thing is to be paralyzed and try to analyze things from this distance. Another is to angle out offline and take 2-3 steps, and now you're still coming here. This now, look at this, whether I have the tool or not, now I can start taking full inventory. And in his words, if you follow the Sobrevivencia practitioner, if I create distance and you follow, now you're playing into what we are trained to do. But it's clear that you're the one following me. I didn't come out here, and how different is that when you see 2 individuals, right, coming up here and doing this whole thing and everything is wide open, right? All the vitals are exposed. You're looking at that and you're wondering, okay, but in his case, how do you handle this, being paralyzed by the fear and shock of the moment? I'm not going to get into the specifics, but I am going to share with you, because it's you're not going to pick this up just from me sharing it here. But I am going to guide you in the right direction, and it has to do with your breathing. That's why Maestro Ruiz is quoted as talking about the relationship between breathing and making yourself invisible. What does that mean? That means that the natural response when you are trained is for the adrenaline to go up. You start hyperventilating, and it's clear that you are. But the whole time, the SV training is designed so that you can change that aspect, that monitor the breath, slow it all down. And while this opponent is gesturing and causing, you're focused on that one move that if he does break through and escalate the threat after you've created distance, all that energy is designed to incapacitate and get out. Notice I didn't say to destroy. If you're going to destroy anything, it's the attack itself if you have to make contact. But the breathing, the training that you do regularly, that breathing is designed to make you invisible in the sense that, hey, I'm not escalating, you don't see me. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty fluid. But it's not how you would naturally respond. That's why the training has to come in. Right? Everybody's concerned with what happens, hey, if it is a knife, what could he have done here? You don't see it. Yeah, we have responses against that. So, she comes in here, look at how close, boom, how to do. But why let it get to that point in the first place? There's a hierarchy here. And so I just wanted to bring bring some clarity to that topic, because very grateful, and I appreciate the fact that Arcaner shared that with everyone. And after listening to Maestro Ruiz, there's so many that have a different perspective. He says, I have a different perspective on the cane, and I have a different perspective on what an altercation is. The principles of dualities, there's a lot of things there that just change the way you look at it. The idea is to have conflict resolution in as peaceful a way as possible. I've said it before, if you're inclined towards violence, and violence is a tool, there's a time for it, but if you're inclined towards violence and always destroy, and you don't have respect for the sanctity of life, you're probably not attracted to SV in the first place, okay? So I hope that was insightful. It's, everybody's looking for the application, for the technique. I get it. I love that too. But these are strategies that are overlooked, and at the end of the day, it's training that can save your life. How do you do it? Listen, before you do anything, you listen to CSDU monthly membership, the 6-week challenge, the Empty Hand challenge that's going now, so caners can now come in and get the full strength version of ACSD the way I put it together 30 years ago. All that is available to you. But before you do any of that, just do yourself a favor and let's have a conversation first. Find out where you are and how we can serve you best. What's the path that's going to serve you best? You do that with the Cane Clarity call below. I'm Joe Robina for American Cane Self-Defense and Sobrevivencia. Thanks for watching.
Keep caning. Stay safe.